Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the second part of the webinar series on quantitative algos. In the previous webinar, we discussed about the candle breakout and candle breakout advanced strategy. And in this webinar, we will talk about the pattern breakout and pattern breakout advanced strategy. Under this strategy, one can execute trades based on the breakout of horizontal line, trend line, triangle, rectangle, and channel breakout. So I will give one example of each under the pattern breakout strategy. And then later on, I will show you how this can be used for advanced strategy as well. Regular strategy works with an individual symbol, whereas advanced strategy, as we discussed in the previous webinar on candle breakout, it works with the other symbols as well. Like you can use underlier symbol to trade options, or you can take one symbol as an example for the base and trade the other symbol. So I will give you examples of that as well. So let's first understand the strategies first, how exactly one can place the orders based on pattern. So this is important, that how you can set the settings properly. So let's say I have a option chart here of Bank Nifty put option currently on the left side, and I have a strategy manager on the right side. And I will add the indicator QTA pattern breakout strategy. So now that I've added this particular strategy, the parameters will remain the same, something similar to what you've seen in the candle breakout. So in this case, I will be doing a horizontal line breakout. So I'll be doing a buying of the put option based on a particular line breakout. So I'm selecting trade up breakout. Quantity, I'm selecting one. Strategy end time or square of time, I'm keeping it as 3 p.m. Stop loss, I'm putting it in points, say 10 points as stop loss. I will enable trailing. In the case of take profit, I'm also putting in terms of points, 10 points. Okay. So now that I've selected the parameters, so you can see trade up breakout. I'm not selecting the down breakout because I'm not selling this option strategy, option symbol. I'm set quantity as 1, time as 3 p.m., stop loss in points, 10 points. You can change if you want whatever option that are available. So you have three options here: percent, points, and amount. And then you have I've enabled trailing stop loss, take profit also in points, though I have other two options as well. Okay. So let's first add a horizontal line. So I can select the horizontal line here. So let's say I want to buy on a breakout with this particular line. So I can select here, and I have to select the horizontal line, add this line out here. Okay. So now two things you'll have to do, and this is very important. Okay. Uh, so here what you're doing is you'll have to double click on this line, and you need to type custom name as QTA. Okay. And there is also another option that you need to select is lock location. What does that mean? Is that this location will be locked for this particular strategy. Okay. So in case you want to modify this, you cannot modify this because this lock it is locked. So what you can also do is that you can bring it down here and then click on lock here. It will lock. But writing QTA in the custom name is important. So if I want to move the horizontal line, I cannot move it. Okay. So if I want to move lower, so let's say I would like to go lower so that I can execute a trade. So I just bring down here and lock it. And then I will click on control, and the strategy will start. So you can see that the strategy is working. If the market goes down, since I would like to execute a trade at any point of time, so that to show the example, so I may just remove this function option of unlock this, and probably bring this lower and lock it again. And before that, I stop the strategy and enable it again. So the strategy is working now. On a break of this upside, it will buy. So I can move the trend line I mean horizontal line anywhere I want. But ideally, we would probably want to do a trade at certain particular breakout levels. But in this case, I'm taking any level just to show the example how the trade executes. So now you can see the trade executed on a breakout on the upside, and it also put the stop loss and take profit. And stop loss also started trailing automatically as and when the price started favoring me. So many of you have asked us in the past, how can I place a limit order or stop limit order with the order placing strategy, or stop limit order as an entry and then put a stop loss and take profit, which with the regular features that we already have, it was not possible. But using this feature, you can do that. Okay. Okay, so I will repeat this. So this is about horizontal breakout strategy, horizontal line breakout strategy. It is a horizontal is a candle. It is a drawing pattern, right? So it is a drawing tool that you have called horizontal line. On a break, you draw a line wherever you want. I mean, in this case, I've drawn a line here. Okay, I double click on this particular line, wrote QTA here, enable the lock location. So if I lock the location, it will remain there. I cannot move that horizontal line thereafter. Okay. So once I've done that, I again use the similar parameters that I used in the previous video. If you are attended the previous session, so you know how exactly how to place the orders for this. So what I did was, after that I double clicked on the chart, and with the control key, and the strategy started with the, and when the price broke the horizontal line on the upside, it bought the put option. Okay, with the stop loss and take profit. So let's exit this particular trade. I don't want to be in this trade for a while, so that I can show other strategies as well. So let me move my stop loss closer and exit. Now my strategy got exited and status of the strategy is stopped. I will use the Alt key to create another instance of the strategy. Now let's move on to another pattern, which is trend line. So many of us we use trend lines a lot. Okay. So again, in the trend line case also, I'm not modifying anything. I will just keep the parameters as it is. So trade up breakout. Okay. One lot, all these things, I'll keep it as it is. And then I go to the trend line. This is the trend line, right? This is the trend line. I just draw a trend line here like this. Okay. And I want to buy on a breakout of this trend line. So again, I go to the settings, write QTA here, and I will lock the location, so that the trend line doesn't move, and click on control and double click on the chart. So you can see that the strategy is working. And now whenever the price breaks the trend line on the upside, it will buy the put option or the symbol that I've selected here. I am waiting for the price to break the trend line to execute this trade. For your info, these are unique execution strategies available only in Quanthour. And if you are one of those who trade based on pattern breakout, they will be quite useful. You can see that the market broke the trend line on the upside, and it executed the trade. Again, I'm not going into the merits of how exactly I'm taking a decision to place these orders. I'm just randomly selecting any trend line and placing the order here. So just to show how the execution works. So you can see that the order is placed, it will place the stop loss, take profit. This is what is important for us to see whether the strategy is working or not. So again, I will exit this trade. I will move my stop loss closer. Okay, so the strategy exited. I click on Alt key to stop the strategy, and it stopped now. So let's move on to another pattern. So I will delete this pattern, and let's focus on now on the triangle. So this is a triangle. So normally when we draw a triangle like this, so we draw a triangle something like this, right? So now in this case, we probably want to do both sides. So what I can do is I can go to the settings here, or maybe I'll show this in a stock, because then I can do both the sides of the trade. So let's say I'll move to this symbol, add QTA, pattern breakout strategy. I will enable both the sides, buy as well as sell. I'll select quantity as 5 shares. Stop loss I will put in points, 3 points. Take profit again in points. I will enable trailing. So now I've selected up breakout as well as down breakout of the triangle pattern. Okay, so I've selected quantity as 5, strategy time as 3 p.m., stop loss in points, 3 points. Trailing is enabled, take profit is points, and it is 3 points. So now let's go and create one triangle out here. So let's do a triangle, something like this. Okay. Now that I've created triangle, so I want to break, if the triangle breaks below or upside, both side I want to trade. So that's why I've selected both the options. So yeah, now the strategy started. So you can see that I've enabled QTA, lock the location. This is very important. Otherwise, the strategy will not work. Anyway, it will throw error. So you know exactly what to do. So the strategy is working right now. So on a break up of this range on the upside, it will buy, and on a break below, it will sell. Let's wait for the market to break. In the meantime, if you have any questions, you can put those questions in the chat box so that I can have a look at it and discuss that. So now the market broke on the downside of this triangle pattern. So it sold 5 shares of ICICI Bank and also put the stop loss and take profit. Okay, so this is again the order went properly. So I just want to exit this particular trade to show another example of a range breakout. So I exited this trade now. So let's remove this pattern. Okay, right click, add indicator. Okay, so why the strategy is still working? It is because I selected both the sides. So that is why it is still working. So in the previous example also, I mean, I told if at all you are selecting buy and sell both sides, the strategy will continue to work until the both the sides of trades are executed at least once. And if you already have a trade in one direction, but the market breaks the other side and you still have an open position, it won't take a trade on the other side unless and until your stop loss is hit or take profit is done. So let's move to another pattern now. So I will add the strategy again. Again, I will select buy up and down breakout, quantity as 1, stop loss in points, or maybe I can do it in percentage, 0.5%, just to show how exactly it works. And take profit in points, 3 points. Okay, and I will select a range rectangle, right? So now I'm selecting a range as a rectangle. So this will be my range. If the market breaks on the upside or downside, it will execute a trade. So I can reduce this as low as possible so that I can get a trade quickly. So again, I need to go to the settings, write QTA and lock location. So this will lock the location. Now click on Control key and the strategy started working. You can see the details of the strategy. You can see the status of strategy working out here and all the details of the strategy. So let's see whether market breaks the upside or downside. Depending on that, we will have a trade. So we had a couple of questions from our users regarding MCX based on the previous video. As I told you earlier, these orders are all market orders. So if you're a broker in any segment, irrespective of whether it is equities, commodities, or futures or options, if the broker do not allow market orders in any symbol, these strategies won't work. But we have already suggested this the option of placing the market orders as limit at a particular offset, so that even if the orders go as you want to send the market orders, but it will go as a limit with certain offset, so that even if your broker do not allow market orders, you will be able to send these orders as a limit with the offset. So like say, for example, you want to place a market order at 100, the order will go at 102 or 101 as a limit order, and it will execute at a best possible price. So you can see the market broke on the upside. It placed the order as a stop loss of 3%, half a percent, and take profit of 3 points. So anyway, I will just move again closer to the price so that I can exit this particular trade. Then I will show you one more example, which is going to be a channel breakout. I can move my stop loss, take profit whenever I want, wherever I want. So see, you can see that this market is still there. So one second, strategy is still working. This, let's bring it closer. Okay, the strategy exited for this particular trade, but if you see here, it is still working because I have selected both side of the trade. So it will now, what we'll do is, if the price breaks the downside, it will execute a trade on the downside as well. Okay, so this you have to remember. If at all you are trading both sides, the strategy will be continuously working to execute a trade on the other side as well. So now it won't take a trade on the upside. So let's wait for the down breakout. See, now the market broke on the upside, but still it won't take a trade because we have already had one trade on the upside. So under this particular strategy, you will be doing only one at a time. So either buy side or sell side. If you do not have position, now that if we have already exited a buy side of the trade, it won't take a trade on the buy side again, but it will definitely take a trade on the sell side. But if I had the position, for example, if I had the open position on the buy side and market had corrected and moved lower, it wouldn't have taken a sell trade because we are already we have an open trade in the buy direction with the stop loss at certain level. So if at all your stop loss is at the low of this particular range, definitely it would exit the trade and also take a trade on the other side. So if you want, let's wait for this. We will look at another symbol for the other pattern. So if at all it breaks on the downside, we will also know. Let's keep that on right now. And now we'll do a channel breakout. So let's create one channel, price channel. Okay, this is a price channel. So you can even trade both the sides in the case of price channel. But since in this particular strategy, I have selected, let's say, I'll just keep this like this. I have selected only buy direction. Okay, so let's click on control key. Sorry, I think I have not given the name. So you can see if I do not give any name, so it will not do any trade. So I have to write QTA here and lock location. That's important. Okay, now the price is moved. So let me move the channel a little higher. Lock the location and double click. So now strategy has started working. So it executed a trade now on a breakout of this channel. So under channel breakout, you can trade both the direction. So in the case of horizontal line, take it trading both the direction doesn't make sense because you have only one price. Okay, it doesn't really make sense. But in the case of trend line also, trading both the direction does not make sense. But in the case of triangle, in the case of range and channel breakout, trading both the direction also makes sense. So if the market breaks the lower side range of the channel, you can also do a trade on the sell side as well. So now I'm in the trade where I have a buy pro position here with the stop loss and take profit. Let's see what's happening in the ICICI trade here. So here we still are in the range. So we want the market to break the downside to execute a sell side of the trade. This will work in crypto as well. Yes, there's no problem. You can use this feature to trade in crypto. There should not be any problem. In crypto, we haven't tested for the option related advanced strategies. So, if at all you are doing with the option mode in advanced strategy, which I'm going to show later on, it may not work. But in the case of simple strategy where using the same symbol, it will definitely work. It will also work using one symbol and trading the other symbol. That also will work. So there shouldn't be an issue. But only the option mode may not work because we haven't really tested this for cryptos. How to add price alerts and on trendline breakout. There is no alert option available for trendline breakout for the time being because, and again, our alerts are only system level alerts. So if a chart is not open, it won't really give any alerts. So for the time being, we only have price alerts based on this particular alert, like horizontal line. So you can put a price alert here on the chart and they will work, but not based on the trend line. So anyway, let's look at what's happening with ICICI. It's still moving in a range. Let's exit this particular trade. So I exited this trade, but and since I selected only buy direction, the strategy stopped working because I did one trade on buy side only, and in my settings I had selected only trade buy side, buy breakout or up breakout, and that's why it traded uh, on the up breakout, and once the trade got exited, the strategy stopped. Yeah, so the trend line, all these patterns that are there. So it is not necessarily you'll have to do it for in only the intraday symbols, intraday data. But you can do it based on the past historical data as well. So if at all you have trend line drawn from the last few days, also you will be able to execute the trades as well. So for the sake of examples to get a quick entry and exits for me here, I'm showing the quick smaller interval and the recent breakouts. But otherwise, you can use this particular strategies to execute even on higher time frames and even using the previous day's data as well. So not necessarily you have to do intraday data itself. You can use past date data as well to execute this strategy. And only remember, every time, whenever you put a pattern, you have to write QTA in the custom name, as well as you have to lock the location. Only then it will execute the strategy. Otherwise, anyway, you will get an alert here. But it is important that you know about this. And again, if you are trading both the direction, unless and until both direction trades are executed, strategy will continue to work to take the trade on either of the direction that was not executed in the past. So you'll have to either stop this manually, or you'll have to make sure that you are aware of this strategy running in the strategies manager. Now let's go to the advanced strategies. Say let's when it comes to advanced strategies, it means that you can trade on multiple symbols. Let me first add the advanced strategy here, and I will explain the details. Pattern breakout advanced strategy. And if you had seen in the previous webinar on candle breakout, we had these four options there. So single symbols, which means that you'll be trading the same symbol, okay, but selecting a particular symbol, but the trading symbol will be different. So suppose you want to use the Nifty spot or Nifty futures as a base, and execute a trade in option symbol or in any stocks or any future symbols, you can do that. So this option was related to that. Single symbol with the option mode. Again, you can use this spot Nifty or the index or any cash market symbol to trade the options with the automatic selection of the strike prices, as well as whether you want to do a trade in the call option or put option. Okay, this is the second option. Third option is trading two symbols, one on the up breakout. So you'll use probably Nifty as the uh, base symbol, okay, and then you would buy on a breakout of Reliance up on the upside, and sell probably ICICI Bank on the breakout of the downside. So that way you could do different trades. Again, the methodology that is used for decision making is going to be patterns, whereas the execution mode are all same as we discussed in the past. Okay, then there is an option, two symbols with option mode. Again, you can trade call and put options on a breakout of either direction. So that is also available. Let's take all these examples one by one. So I'm going to not going to show the example of all these patterns again, but I will show with different patterns the options to trade these things. Okay, so let's select some option here. So let's say use the single symbol. In this, I'm using, say, for example, I will, on a breakout of upside, I will buy Reliance. Okay. And because I'm going to use the horizontal line here, so I will use buy only. And then I'll select quantity 2 shares. Stop loss parameters will remain as it is. I will take 3 points. Trailing, I will enable. I will use 3 points as take profit as well. So I've selected single symbol, which is going to be my Nifty spot as my benchmark for the pattern breakout, and it will take a trade in Reliance. Up breakout, only buy. Okay, quantity is 2, time is 3 p.m. Stop loss is in points of 3 points. Trailing is enabled. Take profit is in points and 3 points. Okay. So now let's go and select the horizontal line here. So I will select here the line somewhere here. Let's do it here. Go to the settings here, write QTA, lock location. If I want to bring down this, I can just unlock this and bring it down a little. And lock again. And now I double click. The strategy is working now. You can see the strategies manager. The strategy is working, and it bought 2 shares of Reliance. So you can see it bought 2 shares of Reliance on a breakout of this. And if I go to the Reliance chart, you will see the stop loss and take profit placed automatically. So if you look at the strategies manager, So you can see what exactly is happening in the strategies manager. Strategy is working and the stop loss has started trailing upside. Okay, so let's exit this trade. I'll take another example. So I exited this trade and strategy stopped. Why strategy stopped? Because I enabled only one side of the direction. Okay, so the strategy stopped. Let's look at other example with the same horizontal line. So single symbol option mode. Now what I will do is I will select, I need to, when I'm selecting option mode, I have to select the expiry date, which is 29 for Nifty. I'm buying the call option. Okay, I'm selecting at the money strike. So I'm using 0, but if I want out of the money, I will take 1. If I want in the money, I will do -1. Okay. So I can add -1, -2 like this, or I can go down like this. So I'll select one strike out of the money for the time being and up breakout only buy this particular call. On the downside, I'm not using downside right now because I'm doing horizontal line as an option. It doesn't make sense to trade both sides with a single price. Okay, if it is a range, it would be nice to do both the sides. I'm selecting one lot. Trade profit will be in points, say 10 points. Take profit also in 10 points. I will disable trailing for this particular example. So let's look at it. I've selected single symbol option mode. I've selected expiry for Bank Nifty 29th. Call option, one strike after the money on a up breakout of the horizontal line. On the down breakout, I've not selected anything. Quantity I've selected is 1, time is 3 p.m., points, 10 points, stop loss, and 10 points, take profit without trailing option enabled. So now go to the settings here. I unlock this and probably move the horizontal line slightly higher. Let's see where it goes. And lock the location and so the strategy is working now. And what it will do on a breakout of the upside, it will buy the call option. Anytime during the strategy, if you want to modify, you'll have to just stop the strategy first. So Alt key and strategy stop. So you can see strategy stopped. And you want to modify this trend line, you can do this here. Go there. You can do it from here itself. Just unlock the location and just move it lower because you already given a name. And lock it again and then click Control key. The strategy will start again at a different price. So now you can see that the price broke out on the upside, and what it will do, it will currently the price of Nifty is at 25,000 spot. So it will buy one strike out of the money call, that is 25,050, and you can see that it is bought 25,050 call option, one strike out of the money, and there is a trade already. So if you see here, it has already placed the stop loss and take profit based on the parameters that we set. Since we didn't put a trailing, so market will not trail now. So you can see the stop loss is stagnant at 99.35 and take profit is at 119.35. So this is clear how to trade the option with the single symbol with the option mode. So I will again exit this trade. So I exited this trade now. So let's move on to another example, which is going to be, so I will use a range in this case. Right now, I've used the horizontal line, so I will use range as an option. So I go here, add the indicator. Two symbols. So what it will do on a breakout of a particular symbol, either on the up or down direction, it will do a trade in different two symbols. So let me, on the buy side, I will buy Reliance. And on a downside, I will sell HDFC Bank, for example. Okay. So I will select both up and down. So on the upside or breakout, I'll buy, and down breakout, I will sell. I'm selecting quantity as one or maybe two. Stop loss, again, I'll use 2 points. Trailing, I will enable it. Take profit, again, 2 points. So you can see that I've selected the two symbol mode. So my decision making symbol will be Nifty Spot, whereas the trade will be done on up breakout in Reliance and down breakout in HDFC Bank. On up breakout, I will buy two shares of Reliance, and on a down breakout, I will sell two shares of HDFC Bank. Okay. So now let's put a range here. I will select this range, go to QTA. I enter the settings here in the custom name QTA and lock the location. And I will use the control key to start the strategy. So the strategy is working. See, on a down breakout, one second. So let's see if the market. Okay. So now on a down breakout, now it sold two shares of HDFC Bank. And if the market breaks the upside, it will buy two shares of Reliance. Now, if you go to the HDFC Bank, you will see your stop loss and take profit working here. So let's see what happens on the upside. If the market breaks the upside of this range, then we will focus on Reliance trade as well. So just wait for a couple of minutes. Any more questions? Okay, so let's leave this as of now as it is there. So we can always go back. The strategy is working, so I don't have to worry about it. Let's look at doing some trade in another symbol with the two side mode, with the option mode. Let's select the parameters for the strategy with the two symbol options mode. I'm selecting the expiry date, the t- call option, number of strikes. Here I'm selecting three strikes out of the money. Again, I'm selecting the expiry date for the down breakout, the option type. I'm here selecting two strikes out of the money here, and all other parameters related to the stop loss, take profit. I'm selecting the range breakout here, and also add the strategy manager side by side. and let's wait for the trade to trigger on either direction. If you have any questions, you can ask. So yeah, you can see now the trade took place on the in the options. So it was I on a down breakout. It was a put option to strike out of the money. Currently, the Bank Nifty is at 51,212. So it should take a trade in 51,400 call option. Call option. So it took a trade in call option. Just a second. Yeah, I selected both the sides call option by mistake. So that is the reason it took a trade on call option on a breakout of. Ideally, it should have been put option. But yes, the strategy is working and it has already placed the stop loss take profit here. So if you have any questions, you can raise your hand and I will answer them. Yeah, Naved, you can ask your question.
Sir, I have one issue regarding when this ये ट्रेड जब चालू रहता है ना जैसे
Mm-hmm.
तो कभी कभी क्या होता है जैसे मैं कभी बाहर चला गया तो मैं ट्रेडिंग व्यू से वो करता हूँ और मैंने सिस्टम में चालू रखा ये ट्रेड या फिर
Mm-hmm.
समझो मैंने ट्रेडिंग व्यू में से मैंने ट्रेड मैंने वो कर दिया कट कर दिया तो
Okay.
होता ये कि यहाँ पे ट्रेड चालू रहता है पोजीशन
नहीं
कट नहीं
सी
होती है।
ये जो ट्रेड है ये लोकल ऑर्डर्स है. ओके.
हम्म।
ये लोकल ऑर्डर्स है. ये ब्रोकर के
नहीं
यहाँ अपने
लोकल ऑर्डर
ऑर्डर्स
तो
नहीं.
समझो मैंने कैंसिल कर दिया है लेकिन जो अपना ये ग्रीन वाला जो चल रहा है ना पोजीशन वो भी चालू
हम्म.
रहता है।
कौन सा ब्रोकर से?
धन।
नहीं, धन से आप कोई भी ट्रेड आपके धन के प्लेटफॉर्म में करेंगे तो इधर
हम्म।
रिफ्लेक्ट नहीं होता है.
अच्छा।
ओके. ये प्रॉब्लम खाली धन से है, बाकी कोई ब्रोकर से ये प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. जो भी
हम्म।
आपका ट्रेड होगा वो इमीडिएटली आपको रिफ्लेक्ट करेगा. धन में ये प्रॉब्लम है. क्योंकि धन
अच्छा।
में जो भी ट्रेड होता है उनके प्लेटफॉर्म में वो एपीआई में हमको रिस्पॉन्स नहीं देता है.
अच्छा।
ओके. तो अगर आपको धन में ये इशू सॉल्व करना है तो आपको आपका अकाउंट इन्फॉर्मेशन में जाना पड़ेगा. उसमें एक रिफ्रेश ऑल का ऑप्शन होता है.
हम्म।
ओके. तो इसको क्लिक करेंगे तो ये आपकी पोजीशन फिर से रिफ्रेश करेगा. ओके. तब
ओके।
तक वो आपको ऑटोमेटिक उधर ही रहेगा. वो आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते उसको, क्योंकि हमको एक एपीआई से हमको रेस्पॉन्स नहीं मिलता है. अगर आप डन के प्लेटफॉर्म में ट्रेड करेंगे तो हमको उसका कंफर्मेशन जो है ना, जो भी आपने ट्रेड डन के प्लेटफॉर्म से किया उसका कंफर्मेशन हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म को नहीं मिलता है. बाकी हर एक प्लेटफॉर्म में हमको मिलता, हर एक ब्रोकर के यहाँ हमको मिलता है. बट डन में ये प्रॉब्लम है.
और दूसरा मुझे ये पूछना था कि ये एसएल 12 का मैंने लास्ट टाइम बोला था अपना प्रीवियस कैंडल हाई लो का
तो वो हमने
वो
ऑलरेडी
कब
आपका
तक।
सजेशन दे दिया है. बट
हम्म।
ये जल्दी हम बता नहीं सकते कब तक रेडी हो जाएगा, बट हमने आपका सजेशन दे दिया है.
ओके।
ओके.
ठीक है। थैंक यू।
ओके, थैंक यू. सो ये जो ट्रेड है, जो डाउन साइड पे ट्रेड हुआ तो उसका स्टॉप लॉस भी हिट हुआ. सो लेट्स लेक और एक एग्जांपल देख लेते हैं. मैं इसको आप स्टॉप कर देता हूँ स्ट्रैटेजीज को. ये स्ट्रैटेजी वर्क अभी भी कर रहा है. यू कैन सी दैट द स्ट्रैटेजी स्टिल वर्किंग बिकॉज आई हैव सिलेक्टेड बोथ द साइड्स. So I'm stopping the strategy for the time being. I'm disabling it. Let's move to making some small changes. I would like to buy a put option rather than call option. So that's a mistake I did earlier. And then let's move this range, or maybe we'll look at some other type. So maybe we will do triangle breakout, right? QTA, lock location. And all the parameters, I just made one small change, which was instead of buying call both the sides, now I've made put and call and put. So on upside breakout, it will buy the call. So, and on the down breakout, it will buy the put option. So let's, okay, just a minute. I will maybe go for a smaller interval. So if I switch to a smaller interval, for example, so I have to refresh my chart as well, reload my chart. Okay, so you can also save this as a template. Previous webinar, somebody asked a question regarding saving the template. So saving this as a default. So what you can do is you can save this as a template so that you can use it again and again. So I checked that part. So you can select put option here, two strikes. So I will just show you how you can do that. Here there is an option for you, save template. So you can give any name for this and save this as a template so that you can use that settings in the future by applying the template. So let's create a triangle right now. Okay, so now the strategy is working. So yeah, so you can see that the trade took place now. So on the breakout of the upside, it bought a call option. You can go to the chart of that and you will see the stop loss and take profit placed there. Any more questions? Okay, so now that I'm on one side of the trade, unless and until I exit this particular trade, it won't do a trade on the other side as well. So just remember that even though you have selected call and put option, if I'm already in one side of the trade, unless and until my positions are exited on one side that you've taken, it won't take the trade. Even if the price breaks downside, it won't do a trade. That is to protect that you are not going trading in both the direction at the same time, unless and until you do not having both the positions call and put option active. All right, I do not see any more questions. Do join us for the tomorrow's webinar on range breakout and range breakout watchlist strategy. Until then, I have a good trading day ahead. Thank you.